A St. Paul jury is going to continue deliberating the fate of St. Anthony police officer Geronimo Yanez. They should have started deliberating within the last 3 minutes. The officer has been on trial for nearly 2 weeks, charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of Philando Castile last summer during a traffic stop. Closing arguments yesterday, prosecutor Jeffrey Paulson said the evidence shows Officer Yanez is to blame, not victim. He spoke of Castile as a kind school cafeteria worker for St. Paul Public Schools, adding that he was a good man but not perfect. As for Officer Yanez, Paulson told the jury that, quote, he chose to use deadly force as a first option and not a last resort. Now, lead defense attorney Earl Gray told the courtroom that Castile prompted the incident and Officer Yanez fired those shots because he feared for his own life. He told jurors that none of this would have happened if Philando Castile wasn't smoking marijuana. None of this would have happened if Philando Castile would have followed orders. The jury got the case around 1 yesterday afternoon. They spent about 3.5 hours deliberating. Back at it again, starting at 9 is when that was scheduled, and then they'll deliberate again today until 4:30. Or if they reach a verdict, we'll bring that to you as soon as it's handed down. Jurors also going back to work this morning to determine whether Bill Cosby is guilty of sexual assault. Cosby accused of drugging and sexually assaulting former Temple University employee Andrea Constand in 2004. During her testimony, Constand said Cosby gave her 3 blue pills to relax her while she was consulting him about her career at his Philadelphia mansion. She said the pills left her half-conscious and unable to move when Cosby touched her. Cosby's lawyer, though, says the encounter was consensual.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions will face questions from the Senate Intelligence Committee today. Sessions will face questions over his meetings with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. during the presidential campaign. He may also have to answer what role, if any, he may have played in the firing of FBI Director James Comey. The Attorney General has recused himself from all ongoing investigations into Russia. CBS News plans to cover Sessions' testimony as a special report, which is expected today at 1:30.
What will be more dramatic, the Sessions testimony or the meeting today with Governor Mark Dayton and top legislative leaders? They are going to try and break a stalemate that could force hundreds of government layoffs. The unprecedented issue comes after Governor Dayton wiped out legislative funding. He vetoed it. He said Republicans forced him into signing a controversial tax bill. Governor's shutdown threat could mean the largest mass layoff in Minnesota since 2015. Could include up to 230 regular Minnesota House employees. And then on the Senate side, Senate staffers, 204. The money runs out July 1st. The governor wants a special session do-over.
It's within the power of the legislative leaders, their leaders, to remedy that in short order by coming back and doing the right thing in terms of the state of Minnesota.
Republican leaders in the House and the Senate say the governor's veto of their funding is unconstitutional. The House has hired a lawyer to sue the governor. That is not going to be a quick lawsuit for sure.
We have WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler here in studio with us.
It's all very dramatic.
Yes.
Very, very dramatic.
So
right?
Is there any way that they can do this without actually going to court?
I think there is. We'll have a much better sense of this today because the governor and the legislative leaders are meeting privately. But it's private. Now, Jeff Sessions, at least, will be in public. He's going to answer questions in public.
Maybe. We'll see what he answers.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right?
We'll see. But yeah, they're going to meet privately. So we'll have a better sense when they come out as to whether this can be negotiated. But if it's not, it's remarkable. July 1st, they run out of money. The governor has vetoed. We've never seen anything like this ever before in Minnesota. So we'll have a better sense today. But I think it's possible this will go to court.
What do you give on this one? If you're the Republicans, don't you feel like we already negotiated with the governor? We did this. And now they're supposed to give some more?
Well, both sides have a little blame, have a lot of blame in this. The governor, of course, vetoed the legislative funding. However, he says accurately that the Republicans stuck a booby trap in the bill that would, a time bomb that would explode.
Which they did.
Yeah. And it did. And they had a threat in there that they would cut out funding for the Revenue Department. So these are things that...
Both sides are brilliant, right?
Yeah,
like, hey,
know,
this booby trap,
brilliant.
pretty good.
It's
vetoing the money for the lawmakers.
But you look back, I mean, this could be hundreds of people laid off, real people with real jobs.
Let's go back to the Attorney General testifying today. So last week, fired FBI Director James Comey told senators that Sessions' recusal may have happened for reasons that he could not discuss in a non-classified setting.
Very secret.
Are we going to find anything? Are we going to learn anything more about this?
Well, we're beginning to hear this morning that that, in fact, he is not going to answer questions. Jeff Sessions will not answer questions about his private conversations with the President of the United States. He says those are classified. So they're probably going to hone in a lot more on what did James Comey tell you? Did he tell you he was uncomfortable being with the president? Did you know that he was going to be told to drop the investigation? Did you try to stop the president from interfering? Those are the kinds of questions I think we're going to hear. But this thing is blowing up even more, and the president on a tweeting tear again this morning, talking about all sorts of different things, including this, Obamacare, his trip to Wisconsin, fake news, everything. So this, you never know where this is going.
No. We'll be live with it, though.
Yep,
this
we
afternoon.
will.
Very good. Pat, thank you.
You bet.
Pat's going back to the Capitol. Maybe you can try to broker a peace deal between the governor and the legislators.
It'll take an ambassador, for sure. That's for sure.
Pat will be live at 5 and 6 with that.